Good afternoon and good evening. My name is Kekeli Feda, and I'm here today with my co-authors, Dr. Ibrahim Adeshola and Adeola Adepoju. We are presenting today our research on how generative AI tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, Close AI, DeepSeek, anyone you can think of, can affect university students' engagement in their studies. So this is particularly timely as we know that these tools have exploded in popularity over the past 2 years. So our study examines whether the use of this tool, students are actually using this tool, but more importantly, what drives them to use this tool and what are the consequences of these tools on their learning. So this is my research concept. I want to check if my slide is being seen correctly before I proceed. I'm on research context.
Yes, ma, we can see it.
Thank you so much, Richard. So this is the context of our research. As we all know, as I've been saying, Gen AI tool have become very popular in higher education, but there is a heated argument now in happening in high educational circles. On one side, we can see the potential benefits on this tool. They offer personalized learning. They are available 24/7. They provide instant feedback, and they can enhance student engagement with course material. But on the other side, there are serious concerns that are being also highlighted. Are students becoming too reliant on AI? Are they losing their ability to think critically? What about academic dishonesty? And are students actually disengaging from classroom activity? So this debate has motivated us to empirically investigate what is really happening. Are these tools helping or hurting students? So our research questions and objectives. First, what are the factors influencing whether students use the generative AI tools? Is it just about the ease of use, or are there other psychological factors that are involved? Second, how does Gen AI usage affect student engagement? Does it increase it? Does it decrease it? Third, does Gen AI usage lead to classroom disengagement as students, because they are using AI tool, are they now being more distracted? Are they checking out of classroom? And fourth, what is the ultimate impact on learning performance and satisfaction? And this is the research gap we are focusing on. Can students simultaneously experience both engagement and disengagement? So most studies are focusing on one or the other, but we are trying to look if the two can be happening at the same time. So I'm describing briefly our methodology. We collected data from 250 first and second year students from the European University of Lefke in Northern Cyprus. This gives us an excellent response rate of 81.7%. Our sample was fairly balanced, about 53% males and 47% females, all within the traditional range of university, 18 years to 25 years. For our analysis, we use Smart PLS version 4.32, employing partial least square structural equation modeling. So this is particularly appropriate for our study because it handles non-normal distribution well, and it is also suitable for exploratory research like the one we are conducting. We ran 5,000 bootstrapping subsamples to ensure statistical robustness, and we carefully assessed common method bias. We also validated both conversion and discriminant validity of our measures. So data was collected using both online questionnaires through Google Form, and we also used some papers to collect the data. So all participation was voluntarily, and they gave their consent, informed consent. This is our theoretical framework. We identify 3 antecedents, that is, factors that predict the use of generative AI. First of all, I'm seeing a chat, so I'm going to check that if I am. Okay, everything is okay. Then we good. We had identified three antecedents, that is factor that predict Gen AI use. So first, perceive ease of use. How easy students find this tool to use. Second, perceive usefulness. Whether they believe that these tools are actually helping them. And thirdly, the fear of missing out or FOMO, the anxiety or that feeling that other people are using this tool, they are profiting from it, and then I am being left behind. So after that, we examine our outcome variables, student engagement, that is their active participation in their interest in learning, classroom disengagement, meaning that if they have been withdrawn from classroom activity, learning performance, their actual academic performance, if they are doing well in their classes, and student satisfaction, how satisfied they are in general with their academic experience. So we drew on two major theoretical traditions: David's technology and acceptance model from 1989, which has been extensively used to predict technology adoption, and also Deci and Ryan's self-determination theory, which help us to understand the psychological needs driving behavior, particularly relevant for the variable we talk about, FOMO, the fear of missing out. I'm trying to, next slide. Yes. This is our complete hypothesized model with all the 8 hypotheses that we gave. We propose that the 3 antecedents, perceived ease of use, perceived usefulness, and fear of missing out, will all positively influence the actual use of Gen AI tool. That's hypothesis 1, hypothesis 2, hypothesis 3. Then we hypothesize that actual use of Gen AI would positively influence engagement, hypothesis 4. And we also hypothesize that actual use will also influence classroom disengagement. So you can see what I was talking about, that we are studying the both classroom engagement and also classroom disengagement simultaneously. Hypothesis 4. Finally, we propose that student engagement will be positively affected. The engagement of the student will positively affect their satisfaction and their learning performance, 6 and 7 rather. And hypothesis 8, conversely, classroom disengagement will affect or negatively affect the learning performance of the student. What are our findings? All the hypotheses were supported. First, perceived ease of use was significant with a beta of 0.184. Sorry. This means that students who find the generative AI tools easy to use are more likely to adopt it. Second, perceived usefulness was by far the strongest predictor with a beta of 0.4. Third, I'm trying to manage my time now. Third, fear of missing out was also significantly predicted with a beta of 0.2. So this suggests that students were actually comparing themselves, and that affected their desire of use Gen AI tool. So these three key factors together explain 63.3% of the variance in Gen AI usage. I'm going to the slide 8 now. Now, this is what I consider to be the most important part of our study, or the most important finding of our study, the consequence of the usage of Gen AI. And that's why we see the paradox I mentioned again earlier. So hypothesis 4, strongly supported, Gen AI users significantly increases student engagement with a beta, you can see here 0.792. So that's a very strong effect. The t-statistic of 30.494 indicate that this is highly significant. Hypothesis 5 was also supported. That means the same Gen AI also increases classroom disengagement with a beta of 0.462. This is moderate, but it's still substantial. Sorry. So we see now the downstream about the learning outcomes. Hypothesis 6, engagement positively affect satisfaction, beta of 0.6. Hypothesis 7, engagement positively affect learning performance, beta of 0.643. But hypothesis A, disengagement negatively affects performance, beta of 0.2. So what are we seeing here from this research? We can see that Gen AI is both helping and hurting the student at the same time. So together, engagement and disengagement explain 67.6% of the learning performance variance. This is not a simple, straightforward saying that, okay, Gen AI is good or Gen AI is bad. It's more complex than that. We can see the two effects happening at the same time. So this is the validation and the quality of our result before we discuss the implication. All our reliability measures exceeded actually the recommended thresholds. Cronbach alpha range from 0.8 to 0.9. Composite reliability from 0.8 to 0.945, and average variance extracted from 0.5 to 0.8. All those are excellent, right? For validity, our HCMT values were all below 0.9, so the Funnel-Lacka criterion was met, and all VIF values were below 3.4, indicating no problem with collinearity, collinearity, and so on and so on. And most importantly, our model shows strong predictive power. The chi-square predict values range from 0.2 to 0.6, indicating good, excellent predictive relevance. And our model measured by SRMR was 0.07, that is very well below the 0.08 threshold. So in short, our study and our research, our findings are robust, and they are also reliable. So I'm just going to go briefly over the practical implications for three key stakeholders. For educator, we need to design assessments that require critical thinking beyond what AI can actually provide. So that comprise analysis, synthesis, evaluation that requires human judgment, right? Second, emphasis in class activities as part of assessment, not just homework that can be outsourced to AI. Third, teach the student to use Gen AI responsibly as learning tool, not as replacement for thinking. And fourth, actively monitor for signs that shows that the student is actually relying too much on AI tools and passive learning. For institution, these are our suggestions. First, they need to develop a clear evidence-based policies on Gen AI usage. Second, provide professional development and training for faculty on how to effectively integrate these tools, these Gen AI tools. So third, to balance technology adoption with traditional pedagogical tools that we all know and are used to work. And fourth, address academic integrity concern proactively before it becomes a crisis. Lastly, for students, we need to communicate with the student, right? The usage of Gen AI should be supplementary to their learning, like a tutor, somebody to explain to them, not as a replacement to their knowledge. They do not need to outsource their schoolwork, their homework to AI tools. So also maintain active engagement with course material and instructor. Finally, develop critical thinking skills alongside the knowledge of the usage of AI, because it's important to know how to use AI, but while using AI, there is a need to continue, developing the ability to think critically. Last slide before our conclusion, the limitation of our study. So first, this is a cross-sectional study, meaning that we collected data at only one point in time. We can show association, but we cannot definitively prove causation over time because this is just a data that we collected at a point in time. Second, our sample comes from a single university, as I said, EU in Northern Cyprus. So while our findings are robust for this context, we need replication studies across multiple institutions in different countries around the globe to be able now to establish generalizability. Third, we did not do any differentiation between the student based on their faculty, based on their background, or anything like that. The use of Gen AI might differ depending on the faculty of the student. So that's something to consider also as limitation. And fourth, we only examined direct part in our model. So there are likely mediation effect, moderating effect that we have not explored. So these are avenues for future research. In conclusion, briefly, I don't know if you can see my conclusion slide. I'm trying to do that. Okay. In conclusion, first, perceived usefulness is the strongest driver of Gen AI adoption with a beta of 0.48. Students are making, according to them, they are making a rational decision because they think that AI tool, Gen AI tool, are actually helping them. Second, and most importantly, Gen AI creates a paradox, simultaneously enhancing engagement while also increasing disengagement. So third, both engagement and disengagement are significant. And fourth, fear of missing out also plays a meaningful role. So this will be all. Thank you so much for your attention.
Awesome, amazing. Please, a round of applause for her. A round of applause for her. This is such a critical part of generative AI. It is so important that we don't become too reliant. So at this time, we're going to take questions. If you do have questions, you know our usual routine. Please drop it in the chat, and we would ask the presenter. Okay, I see a few questions. So we do have one question here, and it reads, what are the signs to look out for in a student who is over relying on AI tools? Was the question clear?
Yes, it was. And as I mentioned, I'm here with my co-author, so I don't know if Dr. Adeshola or Miss Praise wants to reply. If not, I will go.
All right, thank you so much. What are the signs to look out for in a student who is over relying on AI tools? For some students, it's going to create like an imposter syndrome on them. So they won't be able to stand or, let me say, be more convicted or convinced that they are the one doing this work. So even if they are bringing the solution, they cannot defend the solution. So it shows that, okay, they are so much over rely on it. We say they can use that as a complementary tool, but not to rely on it. When they rely on it, it will shows in their defense, it will show in their presentation. It will show that, okay, they cannot defend the solution they are bringing. So in this case now, there are some students, for example, in my class, there was a day I told the student that all of you should put their phone down, and some of the students walk out of the class because they can't do with their phone. I disconnected the internet in the lab and I gave them the question to solve. So most of them couldn't solve it because they depend on Gen AI to solve the questions for them. So these are the little signs, so they become panic. So some of these things, we can look at it and we can see it. It's so obvious now in the life of many students. So when we see this kind of thing, we should advise them that it's going to create an imposter syndrome on the long run, and they won't be able to do something on their own, which is going to affect their critical thinking on the long run. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's just a fantastic example. And I would like to add, while we still wait for more questions to come in, that the more you rely on AI, the more your brain cells fry up. Better word. I think for me, one sign that I noticed that I was relying too much on AI was when I was finding it hard to craft a simple email. I now understood that I got very comfortable with just telling AI, oh, I want to send a brief reply to this person, please craft me an email. I was doing that a lot. And so just to craft my own email, it was almost difficult. And then I knew that I needed to tone down. So how much more for students who are in the learning environment? So thank you so much, Sarah, again, for that question. It's very, very important. Do we have any more questions? I'll wait for a minute again if you have any more questions. All right. Okay. So now, since we have, in the absence of no questions, please a round of applause for our presenters today on such an important topic. Let's show them some love like we'd usually do in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's show them some love. Okay. Is this a question? If you are studying a course whose line of work will soon be replaced by AI, what should you do as a student? If anyone is available to answer, Mr. Ibrahim, if you're still there.
Thank you so much. I'm with you. So the question says that if you are studying a course whose lines of work will soon be replaced by AI, what should you do as a student? You have to upskill yourself as a student. And it's very important. You can't neglect it, and you can't say that, okay, I don't want to use AI. But the most important thing that know how to use it. There was a time during my undergraduate, WordPress started becoming popular at that time. Many of the students believe that, okay, to be a good developer, you have to know how to do a native way of coding. So, but there's much demand in the industry that people need their website in the next 24 hours, in 2 days, in 3 days. And to do it natively, it means that you are going to take like 2 weeks or 1 month. So people can't wait at that time. So I have to look into it. What is it? Something that is trending now. I just have to look into WordPress, Joomla at that time, and I started using it. So many of my friends started laughing at me that, oh, you are looking for a shortcut. It's not a shortcut. It is what is available right now. It is what the market is demanding for right now. So if you find yourself to be studying a course and you know that, okay, this course will soon be replaced by AI, you have to now know how to use the AI and master the AI. For OpenAI, they have what they call like human agent, people who are professional in certain line who can train the AI. So if you're a professional as an architect or civil engineer, you can train a model. You can come up with your own ideas of training a agent to do a certain task. So don't wait and thinking in a conventional way that, okay, this is workplace, this is what I should do, and I should keep on doing like that. You have to upskill yourself and keep up with the current trend of the technology. Thank you.
Thank you. That's amazing. Always upskill, always upskill. So we do have another question. What skills should students focus on developing to stay relevant in a future dominated by AI tools? I think this is a bit similar.
Yeah, it's a bit similar. The usage of it is very important now. We can see fear of missing out makes many people to jump into the usage of AI. But many of them don't know about the prompts. They don't know the right prompts to give the AI to give them the certain solution or exact solution that they want. We see many people trying to use AI, asking question, and the AI is, rephrasing the question back in a certain way that should I do it in this way? Should I do it that way? If they have studied about the prompt and they are very good with the prompt, so the AI won't be stressing them or giving them something that is not relevant to what they are expecting. Like as a software developer, we have different frameworks. Let me just use that as example. And one of the hallucination from generative AI is that what it can mix different versions of code together. So you as a software developer, if you don't have this knowledge, you can be asking for solution. AI is giving you the correct solution, but it's not giving you the correct solution of that version that you are working on. So in that case now, it's going to be causing a conflict and causing a problem. So you have to develop yourself in knowing how to use this platform very well. So learn about what the prompt. prompt engineering. So you have to learn about it and look into it in the line of your own field in order for you to make use of it perfectly.
Awesome. That's perfect. I was also about to speak on prompt engineering before yourself and Dr. Achime mentioned it. So we have another question here. If AI can generate essays, assignments, and answers instantly, how can educators ensure that students' work genuinely reflects personal understanding and effort?
This is a kind of a deep question, but not that deep. Many universities are using the rubric system in order to grade essay and assignments. But at the same time, I did a certain test. I asked the AI to give me a question and to provide the answer. So if AI can generate a question, AI can solve the same question as well. So, and I put the same question and the same answer in another AI platform. So the another AI platform graded less. So compared to the first one that I use ChatGPT and I transfer it to DeepSeek. DeepSeek grade the question less than ChatGPT. So I can see that there's a differences in the training of the model. And if AI can generate question and here answer the question, then there's no problem about that. But how do I normally call the students who are using AI and know that their work is not original? It's short sentences. AI will generate something for you in short, and it's not using more of linking words. If you have done IATS before, they said when you are writing an essay, there's a linking word you have to use, therefore, linking all together. However, all these things, AI normally miss all this kind of little thing, like linking the first sentence with another one, continue. So that is why we come up to what? Another version of it that says humanize the text. So many students don't know about this part of humanizing the text using the AI. So even though if it's humanize the text, there's still another way you can just cache it that, okay, the student is using the AI and the work is not genuine. So although many universities are coming up with a lot of policy about the AI usage, but still, we still have a long way to go in dealing with that. And one other thing we can do is that we'll let the student present the work. If they can present the work and defend the work, in that way, we can ensure that, okay, they actually work genuinely. It reflects personal understanding and effort in that way. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Yeah. And I also believe that there are some tools that if you insert the essay, for example, in those tools, they tell you if the essay was AI generated or if it was actually written by a human. So that's one of the ways that AI also, educators can also find out if the essay was written by a machine or not. So we have another question. And it says, does access to AI worsen academic inequality where students with better tools gain unfair academic advantage over those without them? For example, if AI can pass exams and produce graded work, should the education system be redesigned to measure skills AI cannot replicate, or should AI be integrated in assessment strategies? I love this question.
I have one student in my class that is not using AI and is the one getting less mark compared to all other students. So the answer to this one is yes. So we can see academic inequality. The student doesn't know about it. All other students are using the AI and is getting less mark. So in this case now, what can we do? I give them another question, like develop a system and use AWS platform with the system. So I make it more of what a problems, I use a Scrum approach of iterative approach of it. I give them the question and say, okay, you cannot finish this question. What I'm saying in essence is that what you have a project, but you cannot finish this project because you come up with solution this day. So by the next time we are reviewing the solution and the answers you are coming up with, I'm adding another one to you and asking you question based on the one that you have done before. So they do a project starting from the beginning of the semester until the end of the semester, and yet they still don't finish the project because I keep adding to it. So using the Scrum approach of what iterative approach, okay, you have done this version is good. Okay, we can add to it. I want to see your agility. Okay, I want to see your agility. Let's add to it. Let's change this. Let's do that. So by the time they have gone through those process, they themselves know that, okay, yes, I'm not good at this. It's better for me to learn now and not just to be doing it to pass the exam or to just get the grade. So in this way now, we have to redesign the whole assessment method, not just based on what bringing the solution and get the answer. So like our study said, that engagement, classroom activities are very important now. So if we integrate AI into the assessment strategy and ask the student to declare that, okay, how much of AI do you use in this case? Yes, it's perfect. We have to put it into the assessment as well. So in order to give a proper and right assessment to students who use the AI and students who are not using the AI. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Please, a round of applause. Like the questions are coming, and Mr. Ibrahim is giving us back to back with his answers, and I absolutely love it. So please, let's show him some love in the comment. Let's show him some love and just appreciate all these responses. And before we let you go, sir, I just also want to say the truth of the matter is if you are not utilizing AI, you would be left behind. Whether you like it or not, whether you accept it or not, AI is here to stay. So it's important that you learn it, but don't depend on it. So thank you again. Please, a round of applause to these amazing,
Thank you so
amazing
much.
presenters today for educating us on such an important topic.